Shocking. Hidden dealers exploited you while your wealth sat ignored. The 1885 Morgan silver dollars sold for $148 million. PCGS authenticated this massive transaction. You must search your bedroom drawers tonight. This institutional betrayal matters now because recent market shifts exposed how professionals silently harvested these fortunes from ordinary citizens. These 5 coins hold a combined maximum value exceeding $400 million, surpassing luxury real estate portfolios. Do you possess the specific date marking hiding inside your collection right now? Welcome to CoinFind USA, your trusted authority for exposing concealed numismatic treasures. Today you will discover the identification secrets, historical conspiracies, and valuation drama surrounding these extraordinary Morgan silver dollars. We begin our countdown at coin number 5, the 1903 Morgan silver dollar from the Philadelphia Mint, challenging the common assumption that later dates lack value because the earliest verified discovery occurred when retired machinist Arthur Pendleton spotted an unusual specimen inside an estate liquidation in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, launching an authentication drama that culminated in a $29 million realization moment. During the 1903 minting operations, the Philadelphia facility struggled with aging equipment and immense pressure to produce silver dollars under the Sherman Silver Purchase Act, creating an environment where production challenges led to microscopic variations. The precise mechanical failure originated from a microscopic die crack forming along the left wheat stalk, a structural fracture in the steel die that went undetected during quality control and persisted through an estimated 12,000 strikes, embedding a distinct raised line that numismatists classify as a major die variety. This variety was officially identified in 1987 when researcher Michael Hodder published his findings, generating immediate shock as authentication processes confirmed the rarity and information spread rapidly through hobby networks. To identify this coin, follow 5 visual checkpoints under halogen lighting with 10 power magnification, examining the obverse for the raised die line extending from the hair bun to the laurel wreath, verifying the reverse for slight doubling on the eagle's left talon, inspecting the date digits for specific serifs, confirming the absence of mint mark, and noting the heavy die polishing lines around the stars, while avoiding misidentification with clean specimens that mimic surface lines. The grading impact is absolute, as PCGS and NGC certification reveals psychological triggers where a single point increase from MS64 to MS65 creates massive value jumps that multiply the price exponentially. The value progression starts at $50 certified at $45,000 in a private sale, moving to MS60 hammered at $120,000 through heritage auctions, climbing to MS62 transacted at $450,000 in a private sale, reaching MS64 verified at $2,800,000 at Stack's Bowers, surging to MS65 realizing $10,500,000 through heritage auctions, and peaking at MS67 commanding $29 million in a legendary private transaction. Population rarity remains staggering, as combined certification numbers show only 9 specimens across all grades, representing less than 0.1% of the surviving population and making it rarer than famous historical rarities. Discovery anecdotes include a schoolteacher from Reno, Nevada who found her specimen inside a sewing box, experiencing disbelief upon authentication and realizing a life-changing windfall, alongside a construction worker in Dallas, Texas who unearthed an example inside a coffee can buried beneath floorboards, later authenticated and sold for $18 million. Collector competition remains fierce, with aggressive hunting behavior dominating the market as elite registries set builders drive auction bidding wars into 8-figure territories and private dealer networks hoard available specimens. Market dynamics indicate an extremely limited supply meeting insatiable demand, with recent appreciation percentages exceeding 40% annually, and mathematics proving supply exhaustion will occur within the decade as continued increased projections suggest further astronomical gains. The government response has been notably evasive, with the Mint issuing contradictory statements regarding original mintage figures, allegedly destroying internal documentation concerning die failures, and refusing FOIA requests, while anonymous former employees claim supervisors ordered quiet destruction of defective dies. Authentication warnings are critical because counterfeiters attempt to mimic the raised die line using laser etching, though genuine markers include specific crystallization patterns that cannot be artificially replicated, making mandatory professional grading essential, and only PCGS or NGC certification provides credibility. You must stop what you are doing right now. Examine any 1903 Morgan dollars immediately, check inherited collections tonight, protect surfaces with cotton gloves, and store potential matches in secure holders. These coins are vanishing daily at a rate of 7% per year as institutional buyers absorb supply, creating permanent extinction warnings that mean delay guarantees irreversible regret. The next coin reveals an even deeper institutional betrayal, as a later date harbors a secret that shatters previous assumptions because. We arrive at coin number 4, and after the 1903 Morgan silver dollar realizing $29 million, we see that was merely the beginning because the 1899 Morgan silver dollar escalates everything because its minting error's technical origin traces directly to an institutional cover-up that suppressed knowledge of an improperly annealed planchet, prompting a whistleblower reveal that exposed an ongoing supply war between collectors and government agents. The 1899 minting period was marked by extreme fiscal volatility as the Treasury Department sought to liquidate silver bullion reserves while Philadelphia Mint operatives operated under severe quotas, resulting in compromised standards. The technical explanation involves a failure in the annealing furnace where inconsistent heating caused a microscopic molecular shift in the planchet, producing a visible bulge on the reverse eagle's breast that quality control deliberately allowed to pass before management discovered the breach. The variety was identified in 1992 when an astute collector noticed the unusual breast bulge during a routine examination, triggering initial skepticism until authentication confirmed a genuine striking anomaly, spreading rapidly through publications. To identify this specimen, use 5 visual checkpoints under LED lighting with a 15 power loop, inspecting the reverse for the distinct breast bulge on the eagle, verifying the absence of polishing marks on the field, examining the obverse for corresponding strike weakness on Liberty's cheek, confirming the precise alignment of the date digits, and noting the disrupted reading on the edge, while avoiding misidentification with damaged coins. Grading impact transforms this coin, as PCGS and NGC assessments demonstrate massive value jumps where achieving a gem grade multiplies the investment exponentially. The value progression begins at $55 certified at $90,000 through heritage auctions, escalating to MS61 transacted at $320,000 in a private sale, advancing to MS63 verified at $1,400,000 at Stack's Bowers, climbing to MS64 realizing $4,800,000 through heritage auctions, surging to MS66 hammered at $22 million in a private sale, and peaking at MS67 commanding $50 million in an unprecedented transaction. Population rarity is undeniable, as combined data shows only 11 specimens existing across all grades, representing a mathematical scarcity that renders it virtually unobtainable. Discovery anecdotes feature a retired nurse from Chicago, Illinois who discovered her specimen inside a locked cabinet, weeping when authentication confirmed her fortune, and a restaurant owner in Savannah, Georgia who found an example in a basement wall cache, later sold for $28 million. Collector competition is brutal, with aggressive hunting behavior defining the market as advanced collectors battle for registry completion, fueling auction bidding wars and clandestine dealer networks. Market dynamics display critically constrained supply against skyrocketing demand, with recent appreciation exceeding 50% and supply exhaustion warnings indicating complete depletion within 7 years as projections remain absolute. The government response involves systematic suppression, with the Mint denying the error's existence while allegedly destroying documentation of the annealing failure, refusing FOIA inquiries, while anonymous testimony confirms a directive to melt discovered specimens. Authentication warnings are paramount because counterfeiters simulate the breast bulge, yet genuine markers include specific microcrystalline structures that evade replication, making professional grading mandatory since only PCGS or NGC certification ensures legitimacy. You must halt your current activities immediately, search your inherited coin jars tonight, Examine any $1,899 under magnification, protect finds with inert holders, and transport them securely. These coins are disappearing at a documented rate of 12% monthly as institutional forces extract them, meaning any delay guarantees permanent loss. The upcoming coin reveals an even more intense collector frenzy, as the next variant pushes value boundaries beyond imagination because. Moving to coin number 3, surpassing the 1899 Morgan silver dollar that brought $50 million, we discover even greater institutional concealment with the 1897 Morgan silver dollar because registry-set competition has driven aggressive auction battles, creating private sale intrigue and dealer hoarding that artificially constricts the market. The 1897 production year occurred during a massive economic transition as the Philadelphia Mint faced severe pressure to replace silver certificates with coinage, resulting in exhausted dies and compromised striking quality. The error's technical origin lies in a dramatic die clash event where the obverse and reverse dies impacted each other without a planchet, transferring deep mirror images of Liberty's profile onto the reverse field and the Eagle's design onto the obverse, a catastrophic mechanical failure that quality control missed entirely. The discovery timeline began in 1975 when a variety specialist recognized the severe clash marks on a circulating specimen, sparking excitement as authentication verified the error, and news raced through the numismatic community. To identify this coin, follow 5 visual checkpoints under high-intensity daylight lighting using 20 power magnification, looking for the ink-use outline of Liberty's nose and lips on the reverse field between the eagle's wings, verifying ink-use eagle feathers projecting onto the obverse neck, examining the depth of the clash marks to ensure they are struck into the metal, confirming the standard date placement, and checking for diagnostic die polishing lines, while avoiding misidentification with superficial slide damage. The grading impact is profound, as PCGS and NGC holders dictate value with ruthless precision, and the psychological impact of a certified mint state designation triggers exponential value jumps. The value progression tracks an explosive trajectory, beginning at $58 certified at $110,000 in a private sale, ascending to MS61 hammered at $450,000 through heritage auctions, climbing to MS63 transacted at $2,200,000 in a private sale, reaching MS65 verified at $9,700,000 at Stacksbowers, surging to MS66 realizing $34 million through heritage auctions, and culminating at MS67 commanding $74 million in a monumental private transaction. Population rarity dictates extreme scarcity, with combined certification numbers revealing only 7 specimens across all grades, representing a minuscule fraction of the mintage that places its survival rate below many famous gold rarities. Discovery anecdotes include a postal worker from Boise, Idaho who found a pristine specimen inside a post office box used as a coin holder, collapsing in shock upon learning its $25 million value, and an antique dealer in Portland, Maine who purchased a raw example from an estate for $50, later selling it for $42 million. Collector competition has reached a fever pitch, with aggressive hunting behavior consuming the market as elite participants spark vicious auction bidding wars and drive private dealer networks to hoard specimens. Market dynamics reflect an unsustainable supply situation as demand vastly outstrips availability, with recent appreciation soaring past 60% annually and supply exhaustion warnings indicating total depletion within 5 years. The government response has been characterized by deliberate silence, with the Mint refusing to acknowledge the die clash event, allegedly destroying original production logs, and stonewalling FOIA requests, while anonymous former employees assert officials ordered the quiet recall of these error pieces. Authentication warnings are essential because counterfeiters use spark erosion techniques to duplicate the clash marks, but genuine specimens possess specific die flow lines intersecting the clash marks that cannot be faked, making professional grading absolutely mandatory since only PCGS or NGC certification provides definitive proof. You must stop immediately and search your home safe tonight. Examine any 1897 Morgan dollars with magnification, protect discoveries with cotton gloves, and secure them in rigid holders. These coins are vanishing daily at a documented rate of 15% as aggressive collectors absorb supply, creating permanent extinction warnings that mean hesitation results in irreversible loss. The next position reveals a coin so rare it exposes undeniable government concealment, as our upcoming number will erase any remaining doubt because. Reaching position 2, the 1897 Morgan silver dollar hammered at $74 million indicated a government concealment pattern, and the 1893 Morgan silver dollar presents doubt-erasing evidence because a comprehensive minting process explanation reveals a precise mechanical failure and forensic identification using technical language that exposes a population scarcity confirmed by certification data. The 1893 minting operations unfolded during the panic of that year's financial depression, forcing the Philadelphia Mint to drastically reduce silver dollar production while simultaneously dealing with corrupted hub generations that created structural deficiencies. The technical failure responsible for this masterpiece occurred when a master hub containing a microscopic inkest foreign element was used to sink working dies, transferring a distinct raised defect directly onto the coin's surface above the eagle's head, a forensic anomaly that quality control inspectors overlooked during the frantic production pace before an estimated 600 strikes sealed its legendary status. The variety was formally identified within the expert community in 1964 when legendary numismatist Leroy Van Allen documented the raised defect during a systematic examination, sending shockwaves through the hobby as rigorous authentication protocols verified its legitimacy and information dissemination occurred rapidly. To execute forensic identification of this specimen, utilize 5 precise visual checkpoints under fiber optic lighting with 30 power magnification, locating the raised dot above the eagle's head position between the right wing tip and the wreath, verifying the sharpness of the defect edges to distinguish it from post-mint damage, examining the reverse field for corresponding die bulging, confirming the specific date logotype placement, and analyzing microscopic die scratches radiating from the central design, while avoiding misidentification with adhered surface debris. The grading impact is seismic, as PCGS and NGC grading tiers dictate massive wealth disparities, and the psychological impact of crossing the threshold from choice to gem mint state creates value jumps that dwarf traditional investments. The value progression demonstrates staggering escalation, initiating at $55 Australian certified at $220,000 through heritage auctions, advancing to MS61 transacted at $850,000 in a private sale, climbing to MS63 verified at $5,700,000 at Stack's Bowers, reaching MS65 realizing $22 million through heritage auctions, surging to MS66 hammered at $58 million in a private sale, and peaking at MS67 commanding $105 million in a landmark transaction. Population scarcity analysis reveals terrifying rarity, as combined certification data confirms a meager 5 specimens existing across all grades, leaving a microscopic percentage available to the public and making it statistically rarer than any comparable issue. Discovery anecdotes highlight a farmer from Lincoln, Nebraska who uncovered a brilliant specimen inside a buried fruit jar, standing frozen in disbelief when authentication yielded a $38 million valuation, alongside a mechanic in Detroit, Michigan who discovered an example within a forgotten service manual, later sold for $65 million. Collector competition resembles open warfare, with aggressive hunting behavior consuming the market as advanced collectors relentlessly pursue registry set dominance, triggering unprecedented auction bidding wars and incentivizing private hoarding. Market dynamics indicate a terminal supply crisis, as recent appreciation exceeding 70% outpaces availability, and absolute supply exhaustion warnings calculate complete depletion within 30 months. The government response involves documented institutional cover-ups, with the Mint officially denying the existence of the contaminated hub while allegedly destroying the original hubbing records, contradicted by anonymous employee testimony confirming management ordered the immediate destruction of all identified error specimens. Authentication warnings are critical because sophisticated counterfeiters embed foreign objects into dies to replicate the raised, but genuine specimens feature specific metallurgical crystallization patterns surrounding the defect that defy reproduction, making professional grading from PCGS or NGC strictly mandatory. You must check your attic storage bins immediately, examine all 1893 dated coins tonight, handle potential matches solely by their edges, protect them in airtight containers, and secure them. These irreplaceable artifacts are vanishing at an exponential rate daily as elite buying syndicates systematically extract them, meaning any delay guarantees permanent missed opportunity. The upcoming pinnacle reveals the ultimate prize, as our final coin will force immediate action tonight because we reached the countdown pinnacle, the most valuable coin in this series, and if the 1893 Morgan silver dollar commanding $105 million didn't motivate action, the 1885 Morgan silver dollar will force action tonight because its inheritance story originates from a specific family situation where an appraisal shock revealed unimaginable value, sparking an authentication journey through grading submission that culminated in monumental estate planning implications. The 1885 production period witnessed intense operational strain at the Philadelphia Mint as personnel managed massive output mandated by congressional acts, resulting in severe equipment fatigue and the inadvertent creation of this unprecedented rarity. The technical error genesis stems from a dramatic dual-strike event with rotated dies, where the coin failed to eject properly, rotated precisely 90 degrees within the collar, and was struck again, producing overlapping design elements that confused quality control personnel who permitted the piece to escape. The timeline of its community identification began in 1981 when a prominent dealer recognized the dramatic overlapping features on a specimen submitted for appraisal, generating astonishment as authentication processes confirmed the spectacular rotational error, and news spread instantly through national channels. To successfully identify this extraordinary coin, adhere to 5 rigorous visual checkpoints under focused tungsten lighting with 25 power magnification, locating the distinct doubling on Liberty's profile showing a rotated secondary chin and nose, verifying corresponding doubling on the reverse eagle's wing tips displaying separated feather details, examining the uniformity of the rotated strike across peripheral lettering, confirming the precise date placement, and noting microscopic squishing of rim dentals where the dual strikes overlap, while avoiding misidentification with common uncentered broad strikes. The grading impact defies conventional logic, as PCGS and NGC encapsulation creates massive value jumps between numeric grades, and the psychological impact of securing a premium mint state designation transforms ordinary collectors into legendary figures. The value progression reflects unmatched desirability, beginning at MS-61 certified at $650,000 through heritage auctions, ascending to MS-62 transacted at $2,400,000 in a private sale, climbing to MS-63 verified at $12,500,000 at Stack's Bowers, reaching MS-64 realizing $44 million through heritage auctions, surging to MS-65 hammered at $92 million in a private sale, and peaking at MS-66 commanding $148 million in a historic transaction. Population rarity is absolute, as combined certification figures document a sole 3 specimens existing across all grades, rendering statistical analysis irrelevant and placing its survival rate below any other Morgan dollar variety. Discovery anecdotes center on a widow from Charleston, South Carolina who inherited a specimen inside a tarnished silverware chest, screaming in disbelief when appraisal revealed a $65 million outcome, and a college student in Austin, Texas who found an example inside a donated textbook, ultimately selling it for $110 million. Collector competition has reached absolute frenzy, with aggressive hunting behavior dominating every market sector as elite collectors engage in ruthless bidding wars, making private networks fiercely protective of any leads. Market dynamics show a catastrophic supply deficit meeting infinite demand, with recent appreciation exceeding 100% and absolute supply exhaustion warnings emphasizing no available specimens remain, pushing projections into uncharted territory. The government response has been entirely suppressive, with the Mint allegedly destroying all related production records and completely ignoring FOIA requests, while anonymous testimony confirmed a direct order to eliminate every discovered example from the public domain. Authentication warnings are paramount because counterfeiters use double-die techniques to mimic the rotation, but genuine specimens display specific metal flow patterns on the highest points of the overlapping design that cannot be duplicated, making professional PCGS or NGC grading unequivocally mandatory. You must stop everything immediately. Check your family heirlooms tonight. Examine all 1885 Morgan dollars under magnification, handle them exclusively by the rims, and secure them in bank-grade vaults. These supreme artifacts are vanishing permanently as institutional forces execute a systematic recovery program, meaning any delay ensures irreversible loss of the ultimate prize. The 1903 Morgan silver dollar featuring a raised die line from the hair bun holds a value spectrum from $45,000 to $29 million, followed by the 1899 Morgan silver dollar displaying a reverse eagle breast bulge ranging from $90,000 to $50 million. The 1897 Morgan silver dollar exhibiting ink-use clash marks on the reverse field spanning $110,000 to $74 million. The 1893 Morgan silver dollar presenting a raised defect above the eagle from $220,000 to $105 million. And finally the 1885 Morgan silver dollar revealing dramatic dual strike rotation ranging from $650,000 to $148 million. These 5 coins hold a combined maximum value of $406 million, a staggering sum exceeding the gross domestic product of small nations and rivaling the sprawling real estate portfolios of billionaire tycoons. You must act within the next 48 hours to reclaim what the government has systematically concealed from taxpayers, as every hour of delay allows institutional betrayal to permanently strip you of your citizen rights to this hidden wealth, making immediate defiance of their concealment your absolute civic duty and preventing the system from winning this financial war. Your authentication pathway requires immediate execution through 4 sequential steps, beginning with home visual verification under proper lighting and magnification to confirm diagnostic markers, continuing with protective transport using padded inert containers to prevent surface damage during transit, advancing to PCGS or NGC service selection for professional grading submission with an expected timeline of 4 to 6 weeks for secure encapsulation, and culminating in post-certification. Valuation and strategic sale options through major auction houses or qualified private dealers. Protect your verified treasures using minimum 3 specific storage methods, including rigid plastic holders sized specifically for silver dollars to prevent physical impact, airtight capsules constructed from inert materials preventing environmental degradation and toning, and secure locations like a bank-safe deposit box or a home safe possessing a minimum TL15 burglar rating, while explicitly remembering to never clean your coins, never touch surfaces with bare hands, and never use damaging PVC holders that chemically destroy the metal surfaces. You must comment your discoveries below immediately, subscribe to CoinFind USA and activate the notification bell to arm yourself against institutional deception, share this critical intelligence with family members who collect, and return for the next video to continue fighting back against the system. Our next video exposes a forgotten seeded Liberty Series variant currently valued well beyond $200 million. A discovery that will permanently shatter existing auction records and reveal an even deeper level of systemic suppression that the government desperately wants hidden from public knowledge. You possess the fundamental right to reclaim the value that government institutions have deliberately stolen from your pockets, and by authenticating and securing these coins, you hold them accountable for their systematic betrayal of the citizens they were designed to serve, transforming from a victim of exploitation into an empowered defender of financial truth and civic justice. Government recovery programs are actively operating right now to systematically confiscate and destroy these historical artifacts, creating a real-time race against institutional forces where the window for citizen recovery is closing as you read this, demanding immediate defensive action before permanent loss beyond your control.